Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Kid Gravity. As you can see, it's darkness. And being dark, this is where I'm most comfortable, folk. I'm going to do a little insight before we get into the subject. I like being in my own mind. It's probably where I'm the safest because I can rationalize things a lot easier than talking with most people beforehand. If you follow me on Instagram, you see I have usually spirited conversations when I bring up politics. And I usually think about what I'm going to say before I just say it. But one thing I like to do, and we keep telling you on this show, Rose Gold and I, we do our research because I love Rose to death. Because for one thing, she checks me on stuff. And she'll tell you, though she checks me on stuff and gets mad that I misrepresent what people say sometimes, or I don't quote it correctly. She won't ever tell you this boy doesn't show me where he got his stuff from. This man don't send me links. And I say that to say this. Watching this whole dust up with the president so far, it's kind of confusing me being a 35-year-old black man and someone that supported him for probably the last 2 years. It's kind of confusing watching him work right now because he's basically in a state of flux because he might be going out. We'll just see how December 14th shapes up. And the fact that all these lawsuits are coming in, either winning or losing, and watching the sort of infighting the GOP is doing. Now, again, before I really get into it, I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I'm independent. And being independent, I don't get to vote in the primaries, but I get to watch. I came up with this little bit of moniker for myself. I came up with the moniker of the voting vigilante. You have to tell me why you want me to vote for you. You got to give me your platform. You got to give me your tangibles that are going to elicit feelings of I need to support this dude. I need to really look at it and say to myself, I'm going to vote for this person. So, be that as it may, I decided to become independent at the end of 2017, early 2018. And I encouraged my wife to do the same because we saw the Democrats aren't doing anything. And as much as I respect what the Republicans do because they were started by black people, I felt that messing with a two-party system, being aligned with one, doesn't really help anything. And as you've watched me on this show and listened to us on the audio version of it, available everywhere, streaming apps are accepted. I've been telling Rose and I've been telling the audience, let black people become independent, get ourselves away from both parties. So that way they would have to work for the vote. And if they don't want to work for the vote, especially Democrats, you create your own party, create your own agenda, create your own financial base, create your own agenda base, and you go out there and you put candidates in the House, the Senate, and ultimately on the president or as president. I got backlash for saying, why not do all this, what Ice Cube suggested, and say, y'all not going to help us? Fine, we're going to mess up the works and put a black candidate on them stages during those presidential debates. So instead of having a one-on-one contest, you have a triple threat. But people said that I was crazy and I'm just dividing the race more. Like we weren't divided since 1865, since we weren't divided since we were on plantations between the field nigga and the house nigga. We weren't divided then, but no, black folks. Why do I bring that up? Because once again, black man can't have his own opinion. Black man can't feel comfortable amongst his own people with his opinion. Now, just to let you know, this ain't nobody gonna take shots at nobody, none of this. But apparently, I got called a troll because I support Donald Trump. I didn't vote for him in 2016 because, again, I didn't trust that man because he came from a business background, no political experience, and I was still drinking the Democratic Kool-Aid. And I said, but at least with Hillary, we could have Obama around because I did not know. I still was aware of Obama and I started perking up on his crap, but I said, you know what? At least they have a political background, so they should know how to navigate things. And I was going to watch him. Then Trump got in, and I said, goddamn, this might go left. So I watched. And he presently surprised me. My wife will tell you she was awake. I didn't support that man. And then I slowly started supporting him. She don't like that man. But even she came around to the realization that he didn't bother her as much as he did at the beginning. And I think that's one of Trump's greatest assets. He knows how to, he may come off as abrasive to you first, but once you start to get to know him, he kind of eases out. He's kind of like a raging tsunami until you meet him. And then when you get out to clear orders, it's smooth sailing with him to a certain extent. So I told black people why I supported him, you know, outside of the usual talking points, but I'll bring up the first talking point on the screen real fast. Crone Cabot. I got to be like more like those people who have that stuff up already. But this went a long way in my decision to bring up my vote towards him. Because I even said on the show as well, I'm just going to wait till the first debate to see what Biden said. And I'll go a long way for my decision. But this is from the Washington Times, article dated last December, I believe. I believe it was last December. Just make sure. Yep, December 19th. So 6 days before Christmas last year, before everything went to hell in a handbasket. President Donald Trump on Thursday signed a bipartisan bill that will permanently provide more than $250 million a year to the nation's historically black colleges and universities, along with dozens of institutions that serve large shares of minority students. In signing the bill, Trump said historically black schools have, quote, never had better champions in the White House. And it's not like like he said, when he took office, he promised to fight for HBCUs. So again, that went a long way in my decision. Because, of course, black folks running around saying, hey, we're not taking care of our own. We're not going to our own schools. We're not doing this and that. Okay. We see Deion Sanders going to Jackson State and becoming their head coach. Hopefully that'll spur more black recruits to go to an HBCU. Not even so much Jackson State, but you go to like Howard or go to NCAT, things like that. Maybe it'll boost their image. What was the problem with that? But then they said that was a fraud. Interesting. Now they said that, Obama did this because it was his budget, and that was his budget with what Trump came in with. So he probably signed that into law. That could be right. Until you do a little bit more research and you come across this little article from Politico, which says Obama gets mostly failing grades from historically Black colleges. Now, that's just the first paragraph. But he's had a complicated HBCU legacy. So it says, on the eve of his commencement address at Howard University on Saturday, back in 2016, President Barack Obama continues to get poor marks from many leaders of the nation's 100+ historically Black colleges and universities, and he's running out of time to change their perception. They say the Ivy League educated professorial president has showed scant understanding of the challenges their schools face and charge he has kept them at arm's length during his presidency. Quote, giving a speech at the end of an 8-year term during which the schools were permanently damaged doesn't make up for it, said Johnny C. Taylor Jr., president of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, an organization that advocates for HBCUs. Interesting. So this man, who I was also watching, but again, didn't really pay attention because I'm not into politics like that. We saw this man argue with the Howard University president on multiple occasions about getting funding, while him and his boy Biden sat there and took away $85 million a year from them. Well, I don't know if I shouldn't say a year, but from articles I read, $85 million in Pell Grants and other monies that those schools could have used. But again, Obama's the Messiah, so y'all got it. And the article covers the Pell Grants. Taylor and other academic leaders talk about trims to the amount of time covered by Pell Grants and other changes to loan programs that left thousands of low-income students at historically Black colleges unable to pay tuition. Ivory Toldson, executive director of the White House Initiative on HBCU, said the administration has heard the criticism. That's why it proposed return to year-round Pell Grants and expanding its free community college proposal. The White House also notes that federal funding for HBCUs has increased by nearly $1 billion during Obama's presidency, with most of the additional resources coming in the form of increased student financial assistance. Again, the Obama lovers will say, yeah, see, he did it. He gave him money. That's fine, but you got to also understand, and I tell Black folk this all the time, you got to watch the perception, read between the lines. He just gave money, so he shuts them up. Small time. Because even if he gave him $1 billion, they would have been loving this man. That $1 billion, they were still complaining because he already damaged the relationship. It's just like you having a drug dealer in your family. That man can give you money all day. But that one time, that one unsavory character brings strife to your house. It doesn't matter how much money they bring. Or like the employee, he could be the best employee in history. But if his work ethic and his perception to your customers throws your customer base off, what's the point in keeping him? And for 8 years, Obama thumbed his nose at HBCUs, including, like I said, the one in the city where he governed from. But y'all love that man. You can love that man. Just understand your history. Now, I'm not saying that Trump ain't sitting up here. He's clean. He ain't clean. He has his faults. He's abrasive. He didn't handle the pandemic right. He He doesn't think before he talks. He talks like most people talk. They just talk from a place of anger. Okay, that's criticism. We can have that conversation. But to sit there as a black person and deny this man didn't do anything for you, it's funny to me. Because all you have to do, go on the DuckDuckGo, show and just look. Like, what did Trump do for black people? We have black authors and journalists that have said this man has done more. Now it depends. It really depends on how you want to take it. Some say he did a lot, some say he didn't do anything. Depends on who you talk to. Again, go do your research. But here's one thing that went under the radar, and I told these certain people, certain black people this, and they just ignored it. And of course, outside of NBC News, nobody picked up on this. Now, again, this was in 2018. And this was another factor of why I voted for him. On December 18, 2018, U.S. President Donald Trump signed the Sickle Cell Disease and Other Heritable Blood Disorders Research, Surveillance, Prevention, and Treatment Act of 2018. Black folks, we suffer from sickle cell. Okay? Your man Obama did not put out any money for this, at least to my knowledge. He didn't care about that. Now, $5 million in grants per year for the next 5 years, $25 million, that might go a long way. Now, he could have said, no, I don't want to sign this as president. So, according to one of the sponsors of the bill, Senator Cory Booker, a Democrat from New Jersey, quote, even though sickle cell disease is the most common inherited blood disorder in our country, research and treatment lags behind that of other chronic illnesses. Our legislation will help find new ways to improve the lives of people suffering from sickle cell disease. It's time we start treating sickle cell disease as a serious and debilitating illness and allocated adequate resources to monitor, researching, and treating it. $25 million. I know it's not like cancer research, but hey, black folks, this is an avenue we can, as people, and you had the platinum plan, you could have amended this. You could have added this into it. More funding for hereditary diseases by black folks, sickle cell, anemias. Nah, I'm not going to give them credit because, black folks. I'm not going to take too long. I'm going to try to go 30 minutes on this. So outside of, low unemployment with black folks, when the year prior in administration prior, black men had the worst unemployment numbers in history, but now we have it because of the COVID. That went a long way to my decision. I look at my family. We got to the middle class under this president. We took things a little more seriously because we were on our own now. Just married. We actually got married in his first term. And it opened my eyes a lot. I've never told my wife this, but that wedding day actually opened my eyes to a lot. It showed me that, we're really a team and we are on our own. We have to go out there and we have to navigate life and we have to go figure life out and we have to create something or some sort of foundation, because if we bring kids in this world, I'm not going to do the poor thing. I'm not. My father didn't do it. My mother didn't do it. I can't be the firstborn and set that example for my 3 sisters. Can't do it. So I really went on my hustle. And Suffice to say, we're soon going to get out of New York, and hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll have a house by the time we get to where we're going. And I have to thank Donald Trump for that. Because especially in this social climate where I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to be a perpetual victim, I'm not thinking like that. I dissed BLM on how many occasions? I dissed Alicia Garza how many times? Patrisse Cullors got that work a couple weeks ago from me. I don't care anymore. I don't care what Black people think about my opinions. I really don't. If you're not close to me, I'm not taking. I'll listen to what you have to say out of respect. But if it's not something that I subscribe to, I'm not listening to it. And for those who said that I am a troll for Trump, okay, that's fine. Guess what? A troll would never admit that the person that they really like has any issues. You'd never hear a troll do that. I'm a fan of Tommy Sotomayor, and if you hear on YouTube, you can easily search him and see his history, things like that. I have my criticisms about him. Sometimes I don't like his long shows, his long 6-hour shows. I can't watch it. Back in the day when he used to go off, it was funny, but there was always a message into it. Sometimes he goes over the top when he goes after Black women, but again, I had a father, so I've learned to listen to somebody without having to judge everything based on delivery. Fine. I'm sure that's going to be used against me. I don't give a shit. I don't listen to too many Black female content creators because most of them just do gossip, and I'm not into gossip. So, yeah, shout out to Taisha Essex. She's probably one of the few that I actually listen to. She might be the only one I listen to. I got to go through my subscriptions again. She might be. Because she comes from the middle ground, and Tiffy Television too. Can't believe I forgot about her. They actually come from the middle ground. They'll call it like it is, and they're not afraid to make mistakes, and they put out good content. So follow those two: Taisha Essex, TIEESHA Essex. If you can't spell Essex, Google it. Jesus Christ, or use a dictionary. Open a book. It's the middle of the COVID. Read books. Black folks, you'll learn things. Be like MLK. Go out there and write. Be like Malcolm X. Open y'all's dictionary. Write down all the words. Know what they mean. In Tiffy Television, you should know how to spell Tiffy in television. One word. So, let me make this fast. I got 5 minutes left. Again, I hope come December 14th, we'll have a definitive president and vice president. And like I said, if it's Massa Biden and Headboard Harris, hey, they're the president. I'll support them. It's going to be a rough 4 years, in my opinion, but we'll support them nonetheless. But I want to say this before I go for Black folks, and that's the boiler. So hopefully it'll shut up. Let's see. Shut up. As much as I'm going to support them, I have no reservations. I know what's going to happen. The social justice is going to get worse. The fact that Trump saved kids in Georgia from getting trafficked thanks to the FBI, and a lot of them were Black. again, went into my decision for voting for him, because he could have, because the way out to call it between him and the Central Park Five, and him not renting to black people, which was a lie actually, because he got sued and he still did it, but he didn't have to do that. The fact he was never racist until he ran, which is funny to me. And if he's so much of a racist, these black folks that did movies with him, that did songs about him, didn't take their songs down as a sign of solidarity. Wait, let me show the black fist one time. Tells me a lot. The fact that I saw black people diss Ice Cube for coming up with a agenda and tell me, after I told them he's not a politician, but at least he did something, and you still sat there and dissed him for it, tells me a lot. It's not hard to go do a little bit of research. The fact that that man actually sat down, well, his team sat down, mainly Katrina Pearson, a black woman, sat down and talked to that man. Why not? Have the conversation. The fact that Democrats told you after the election tells you they're not for you. The fact that Biden's first initiative was to get 5 Indians brought in from the 5th floor. 5 Indians citizenship. When we watch lefties and Democrats get at Trump for having a citizenship ceremony during the RNC, tells me a lot. The fact y'all praising Stacey Abrams for fraud, which I'm going to talk about probably, you know what? I might do it tomorrow. We're going to talk about Stacey Abrams frauding, but I got to do a little bit more research on that before I really go after her. The fact y'all praising her over Trump, fine. That's your opinion. I could care less. But my final message is this. Black folks, I hope y'all ready to get drafted, because we're in the middle of a pandemic and the economy's trash right now. The quickest way, and history has shown this, the quickest way to get out of a economic slump is to have a war. And y'all listen to Biden not only disgrace a black man on his platform, Charlamagne the God, and a black reporter telling him he was on crack. Y'all watched him basically tell you that North Korea and Russia are thugs. So he's sitting there antagonizing these men. If you don't think him and Headboard Harris are going to get us in the war within their first year of administration, I tell you what, I got a bunker I can sell you. I'm 35. I can't go. All you black men and black females, 34 and under, I hope y'all ready. Send me y'all address. I'll make a mean lasagna. I'll send it to you. I'll freeze it real nice so you can share it with your bunk mates. I'll be there for you. I'll see y'all off. Just give me y'all's address where y'all fly, where y'all shipping out from. I'll be there for you. Black folks, y'all got to do better. I understand politics may not be your game. Do a little bit of research. Stop watching CNN. CNN ain't going to tell you everything. Fox ain't going to tell you everything. MSNBC ain't going to tell you everything. Watch them for the stories that they know people are going to touch. Then go online and look at the stories that they won't touch. I don't hear black folks going after Obama and Biden for giving Iran over $100 billion with money on crates. Y'all won't touch that. You know what $152 billion could do for our community? We wouldn't even need the platinum plan. We could have flipped that money in 2 years to $250 billion, which was the original plan for the platinum plan before Ice Cube got on. But y'all don't want to have them conversations. So I'm going to end it off like this. I'm a troll for Trump. Who cares? I'm going to live with it. And if you think I'm trolling now, Lord have mercy. You damn sure ain't seen nothing yet. I thank you all for letting me rant real quick. And hopefully Miss Rose Gold will have a nice Thanksgiving. I'll have a nice Thanksgiving because I'm going to see my folks, and we only have 8 people, sir. So y'all can't come tell us nothing. Nothing. So we're going to have fun. Football's on Thursday. 3 good games. Even though they're kind of shilling out there for social justice, but whatever. And hopefully Giants will get first place on Sunday. We'll see. But I want all y'all to enjoy y'all's holiday. Take care, stay safe, wear your mask to get your supplies. And remember, your opinions are your opinions. Don't let nobody ever tell you you can't think a certain way because this is your skin color. Stand tall. That's how they say it in the Y all the time. Shout out to Chris Parklow. Gotta stand tall. Take care.